Plaintiff Jacqueline Sandoval was best friends with the defendant in high school, and they decided to rent an apartment together. Jacqueline claims they started having problems because the defendant was jealous of Jacqueline because she had a boyfriend, and she's suing because she claims the defendant moved out without warning. Defendant Elisa Brown insists she was never jealous of Jacqueline's relationship. Elisa admits she moved out before the lease expired, but she doesn't believe she owes Jacqueline anything because she already paid her for the rent.
Prove your case.
Your Honor, this was my best friend for 5 years. We met each other in high school. We were kind of known as the mean girls, you know. We kind of went around with very bad attitudes, you know, not proud of it, but we did.
Did you all have problems at home or something?
Yeah, both of us did.
That's part of I'm sure that's part of it. Go ahead.
And after graduation, we went to different colleges, and we both decided to move back in December. Well, her mom didn't have a room for her to stay in, so I offered my house. You know, we decided we'd get a lease together when we had enough money. So March 2007, we did sign a 10-month lease together. You know, things were all right when we lived together, but she kind of was a little too obsessed, kind of got jealous that I had a boyfriend, you know, wanted my attention all the time, and things got really rocky, and I kind of just gave up, you know.
What was the agreement with regard to monies when you all moved in?
Half and half. Rent was $800. She used to pay $400.
$400 rent? And half of the utilities, whatever it might have been?
Yep.
Let me hear from her about the background.
First of all, Your Honor, my side of the story is similar to hers, but it's pretty different. Like she said, we were best friends for 5 years. The way that our friendship was, when she wanted to be best friends, we were best friends. When she didn't need me around, we weren't around each other.
What do you mean, need you?
When she had her boyfriend around,
right.
I didn't have to be around.
Okay, what you thought you should have been?
Well, yeah, I felt that things shouldn't change.
You should date with them?
No, sir.
Go in the room, watch television with them?
No, sir. Referring to we didn't go out as much.
When her boyfriend was around, she shouldn't be around you.
Well, understandable, definitely understandable.
Okay.
It's just I felt like if she didn't need me around, I wasn't around.
Tell me about moving in, and was it to be split half and half?
At first, it was supposed to be split half and half.
Do you want to tell me anything about living with her?
It was pretty bad.
Why were you all arguing regularly?
It would be about little things like I wouldn't do the dishes because I was never there. So I never ate at the house, so I wouldn't do the dishes.
All right. Let's discuss the unpaid rent and unpaid bills.
Okay. I got a phone call from a mutual friend, and she decided to say, oh, well, when is Elisa going to move out? I was like, excuse me? So that night, I confronted Elisa. We were sitting in the living room. You know, we talked about it, and she had stated, you know, I feel like I'm missing something in my heart, and I need to go
What did you all discuss about the lease?
She had stated that she was going to pay me with her student loan. The full. She's like, you know, I'll just get it.
She would pay $400 a month for how long?
The remaining 6 months.
All right. And how much did she pay for those 6 months?
She paid $200 a month, and then the payment stopped in January 2008.
So the total is $1,200?
Yep.
Ma'am, what do you say to this?
When we moved out, we went to the office to ask them if we could get out of our lease in any way. They said it was not possible without paying money. So she decided that she was going to stay there, and we agreed that I would pay $200 a month until I moved out. She had stated that she was going to try
until you moved out.
Or until the lease
expired.
Yes.
When did the lease expire?
February of 2008. I'm sorry. Was it January?
And you moved out when?
I moved out in July of 2007.
So you moved out 6 months prior?
Because I went up to school.
And you all discussed you paying the remainder of the lease.
We discussed that I would pay $200 a month.
Till the lease expired.
Till the lease expired. So
how much did you pay?
I paid the $1,200.
Why would she allow you to get away with half, you think?
Because I was not living there.
No, so you were on the lease.
I understand
You can't abandon a lease.
Through mutual friends.
So if you weren't living there, why did you agree to the $200?
Because she said that she would not take me to court if I paid the $200 a month.
Well, she brought you to court because...
Exactly. No, exactly.
Because she says the agreement was that you would pay $2,400.
But that was not the agreement. Our agreement was that if I paid $200 a month, she would not take me to court because I tried to get out of our lease, and I have proof.
You want to have any evidence?
No, sir. The only thing I have is the lease and the bank statements that she only put $200 a month through January 2008.
She said that that's what she believed the agreement to have been.
Yes, sir.
Why wouldn't she pay at least one more month? If she had paid 6 months straight, did she ever miss a $200 payment?
No, sir.
Never.
Nope.
So why wouldn't she continue making the $200 payments? If
Sir.
she told you, I'm going to pay you $2,400, and she never missed a beat,
Yes, sir. I
why all of a sudden would she miss a beat?
understand that, and that's because
I'm asking you.
Yes, she got. I believe that she thought that it was going to end at the lease.
No, you all
But-
had an agreement, remember? You had an agreement that she would give you $2,400.
Yes, sir. We did.
So
And
she didn't think that. If you recall, you all had an agreement. She couldn't have thought anything else. Now, if she thought differently, then you didn't have an agreement.
I understand that, and the reason
So
why.
tell me why you believe she stopped paying after paying without missing a beat. She probably wasn't even late those 6 months, was she?
No, she was
Paid
not.
you on time every single time.
Well, I did.
Why
have
do you
to-
think it stopped?
I did have to remind her, and the reason
Why did it stop?
Because she thought it was going to be over, and that's when I
Okay, so
texted.
you all didn't have an agreement.
Yes, we did.
Agreement by definition means both parties understand what they're going to do. Are you telling me she didn't understand what she was going to do?
I believe so, and the reason we came up with
So
the,
she didn't understand what you all were doing?
Yes, sir.
Well, you had no agreement. By law. By law, an agreement is both parties must have an understanding. Otherwise, there's no agreement. And so you didn't have an agreement by your own admission. Now, let's see what happens now when a person moves out on a lease and her amount was $400. You're right, she is obligated to pay something. And that something is to pay a reasonable amount, barring you getting a roommate, because you have an obligation to get a replacement roommate. If you do not get a replacement roommate, she is to pay you the monthly amount that she owes for a reasonable amount of time, which, as I've said many, many times, is typically about 3 months. And that means she would owe $1,200. Unpaid bills. What does she owe you for unpaid bills?
We had received a water and sewer bill.
Ma'am, did you pay that?
No, sir. I
Why?
didn't. I was unaware of the bill at the time that it happened.
Okay. So you're willing to pay it now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me see the bill. And once again, regarding a contract, in law, they say, and this is one of the first things we learned in law school, there must be a meeting of the minds. And that means both minds meet on what each other's obligation is. And you say there was no meeting of the minds because you say you don't think she understood what the agreement was. And therefore, $64 is your judgment. Judgment for the plaintiff.